Howdy, my darling Leo. I hope you're doing well. My name is SimplyVelca, and we're going to be getting into your weekly tarot reading, my beautiful Leo, for February 2023. All right, darling? I have a new spiritual podcast, by the way. If you want to check that out, it's pinned in the comments below. And if you do enjoy this weekly tarot reading, Leo, check out your sun, moon, and your rising so you have a better understanding what's happening in your life, darling. All right? And remember, beware about fake accounts. I only do my personal private readings through my website, SimplyVelca.com. So that's the only place I do my business. All right, so just keep that in mind. So let's just jump right into your tarot reading, Leo, starting out with your general energy. The main playing card here is the Judgment card, which is actually really powerful here, Leo, because the Judgment represents like big actions about to be happening in your life here. You know, when I see this Judgment energy, I always associate this as where it's like your spiritual team is about to be taking some major action in your physical world to have some big changes going down in your life. All right, darling? And so I do feel like a big transition is going to be happening for you in the month of February. I do feel like some major changes here. All right, and just based off of your other cards here, it seems to be a lot dealing with your social life. So the three clarifying cards that I pulled for you here, Leo, were more major arcanas. So as a tarot reader, when you see a bunch of major arcanas, that's like a sign of like, you know, the major arcanas are like big playing cards, big playing energy that just, you know, is very transitional. And so when you have four different major arcanas coming in for your general energy here, it's like, darling, I want to be saying like, some of you Leos, you need to pack your bags, get ready for like a major transition in your life here, especially when it comes to your social life. All right, so we have the Tower, the Death, as well as the Hermit card here. And so this reads off to me, Leo, of where it's like the period of time while you were kind of like in your shell. You haven't really been talking to anybody. You haven't really been putting yourself out there, Leo. That's coming to an end here. All right. I feel like your spiritual team is seeing you for where you're at currently, Leo. And they're just like, all right, darling Leo, like it's time for you to be, you know, taking down the blackout curtains. It's time for you to be putting yourself out there. It's time for you to be creating. It's time for you to be getting noticed for who you are and what it is you're trying to accomplish in this world here. All right. And so I personally like this a lot here, Leo. I feel like you're really about to be leaving your comfort zone. I feel like for you, we're really about to be breaking a major pattern in your life when it comes to your social life, especially. I feel of just like the type of persons that you would always attract, even when it comes to just like your work, your career, and just certain projects in your life here, Leo. I feel like we're putting an end to where perhaps like in the past, Leo, you always were the one to just, you know, work in silence and not really have too much attention on you. You never really, like, you always would be, not that you haven't wanted more in your life, Leo, but you have been able to find ways to be content with where you're currently at without really asking for too much, or chasing after too much. And I feel like for you, in your energy right now, Leo, it's almost as if your spiritual team is just like, Leo, it's time for you to be demanding for more. It's time for you to be getting more attention on you. It's almost like this sense of where it's like, instead of working the front desk, Leo, you're about to be getting like the manager position, or instead of like a, you know, a manager position, is you're about to be stepping into this place of where you become like your own boss and you are the one running the show here. I really do feel like for you, Leo, this is a time of where it's just your resting period, your hibernation period is coming to an end. All right, but in a very positive way. Initially, you might be, you know, a little bit flustered, but in the long run, I feel like you're going to be extremely happy. Now, in your actual social spread right now, Leo, we have the Hierophant. So this is interesting. You know, I like to always preference and say that I don't always like to focus on romance, Leo, because I don't feel like everyone's interested in romance. But I can tell you if I do see some potential romance here. And the Hierophant can represent marriage. But the fact of the matter is here, Leo, I feel like right now in your social life, there's some person in your life right now that you are already aware about, and I feel like there's some slight resistance on your end when it comes to this connection. I feel like for you, because of everything else that you've been having going on in your life, you have a little bit of trust issue. All right, you have a little bit of a trust issue here, and so it's really hard for you to open up, even when you can like, see a person for where they're at, and be like, you know what, this is a good girl, this is a good guy, you know, that is in your life currently. But it's almost like this sense of like resistance for you to like come out of your shell with them and be vulnerable with them, Leo, just because of the fact of what you've been dealt with in the past. Like, since you've been served up shit for so long, you have this in the back of your mind where it's just like, all right, this doesn't look like shit, but on some level, like, you're afraid of like, if you taste it, then it's gonna taste like shit. So that, I don't know why I'm like really honing in on that type of analogy here, but we have the Five of Swords inverted, the Two of Pentacles, as well as the Eight of Pentacles here. And so Leo, to me, this reads off as where it's just like just connections in general. You're going to be having numerous connections here. It's not just about love, it's not just about work, it's about like your whole life in general here, Leo, of where it's just there's several types of connections that are already in your life and are actively coming forward in your life here, Leo, that would be really good for you to open up to. I feel like the new connections coming forward are definitely an upgrade from what it is that you've dealt with in the past with that Eight of Pentacles here. All right. I feel as if as well, Leo, you need to trust your instincts more and not confuse your instincts with personal bias, you know, without there's like a fine line between your intuition and as well as just like being paranoid. All right. And you can identify the difference of the two. And I feel like, Leo, you out of all my zodiac signs are able to hold yourself extremely accountable and be self-aware about that type of behavior. So I'm not too concerned about that there. Just something for you to be aware about is that I feel like your spiritual team is really handing to you a lot of new connections that have a lot of substance to them. You can learn a lot from them. You can really grow with a lot of these connections for the long term. You just have to be willing to be vulnerable with them, my friend. All right. Now, messages that you need to hear today, Leo. We have the Hermit card once again popping out here. All right. So as I was saying beforehand, Leo, like your entire reading put such a main focus on just your social life, just in regards to like you right now. I feel like for you, this is a time of where it's like, all right, you need to be honest with yourself, Leo, and be like, all right, where can I be like leaving my comfort zone now? I feel like you've learned what you needed to learn. You've self-reflected where you needed to self-reflect. You've done the shadow work, Leo. At this point in time, you know, it's time for you to go out and smell the roses. It's time for you to touch some grass, darling, and to experience life again and be a little bit more open. I do feel like for you, there's a reason as to why your spiritual team is putting such an emphasis on you leaving like your house, you leaving your room, Leo, because it does lead me to believe right now, you know, while we can talk about like these new connections that are coming forward in your life, Leo, but it's like if you choose to stay inside, those new connections that I was just talking about are just going to go on by, darling. All right. And so you have to be the one to answer the call here. Now, the clarifying cards I have for this, funnily enough, we have the Judgment coming out again with the Justice. And it's funny because your first row had both the Judgment and the Hermit card as well. And so again, there's a little synchronicity there. Judgment, Justice, and Three of Cups here. All right. Further confirming that there's definitely more than just one connection. All right. And also confirming that it's not just romance. For many of you Leos, I feel like you are going to be attracting some solid people that are part of your soul tribe here. And this does confirm it as well with this Judgment card. What I was just saying at the beginning of this tarot reading, Leo, where it's like your spiritual team. I see the Judgment as like your spiritual team taking action in your physical world to make things happen. How that is happening is through your connections. Three of Cups also represents good news as well. And so this is like a time for you to be happy. This is a time for you to be optimistic rather than being cynical and trying to find like a flaw with somebody, trying to it's like you're trying to find like you're trying to convince yourself that people in your life are not good for you, and trying to find some type of flaw that you take it and run with it, when it's just like, this is a good person, these are good people coming into your life here. Justice card coming in here, and then we had 2 extra cards coming in for you, Leo, that I wanted to talk about lightly. We have the King of Cups and the Ten of Swords here. The tens representing the closures of cycles here. You know, for the next period of time for you, Leo, I don't really see you dealing with more people. I always are more underwhelming or bad people. All right, I always say when I with this 10 of swords is like, you can't fit any more swords into this person's back, right? That's why there's no 11 of swords or 12 of swords. You know, once it gets to 10, it's done. And so when it complements in such a way with the King of Cups here, Leo, I feel like you're attracting people who are very emotionally mature, people who have gone through life, who have been hurt themselves, you know, so it's like they're very picky about who it is that they open up to as well. And I feel like you're going to really relate to certain people on people that have broken your heart. I feel like this person is like, these people have also had their heart broken, and so they're not going to be interested in entertaining connections like that either. And so I kind of just see a bunch of broken souls coming together, and these broken souls healing one another, because it's giving you faith in humanity again. So let's end your tarot reading this week, Leo, with a Moon Oracle card, which yours is, it is time to take action. New moon in Aries. All right. So if your Hermit cards and all this wasn't making it obvious beforehand, Leo, this is definitely calling you out again, where it's like, it's time to take action. It's time to get out of your house. Your spiritual team has a lot of exciting things planned for you, friend, but you need to leave that room. All right. So I love you so much, Aries. Oops, not Aries. I love you so much, Leo, and I hope I can connect to you sometime in the near future. Bye, darling.